So guys, welcome to another video. As you can see, I'm very wrapped up. I've got a long sleeve t-shirt, 2 jackets, a coat, like a ski jacket, and 2 pairs of trousers on. It's 0 degrees Celsius, which usually is not too bad, but today just feels extra crispy. 12 weeks and 1 day out today, so 85 days and 175.6 pounds this morning. So I've completely missed 176 pounds. I was stuck in the 177s for a few days, so a bit of a wash this morning, but I feel it. I feel like there's cement blocks on my feet, but it's good. It means things are moving like they should be. So no work today, but because I'm on prep, obviously there's not much that I'll be doing, and it's cold, so friends are working or it's too cold to meet up. So I won't be doing much. I'll just be catching up on rest after being in Liverpool and going straight back into work. But it does mean that I'll have a meal with Faye later, still within calories and macros. It's the only time I really kind of do a if it fits your macros approach, which I don't like calling it that because it is still all whole foods and all healthy. It's just not my normal last meal, but you'll see what that is. So pushing arms on the cards today, which I'm looking forward to. It is my favourite session, I think, of the week. But because I trained in Prophecy on Wednesday and it's different equipment, my arms and chest are in bits. So I've got to train for the DOMs, but I've got pre-workout in. We're training earlier in the day today, so I can actually have a nice amount of caffeine. It'll still be sub 200 milligrams. I was going to say sub 200 grams then. Sub 200 milligrams, definitely sub 200 grams. So far today I've woken up as normal. I've had a normal hydration, which is a litre of water with 7 grams of HydroFlow. Got HydroFlow back in, which is nice. I've been using salt and potassium for a while. So it's just extra flavour that's nice to wake up to on a prep day morning. So I hydrated, had my normal coffee, which didn't even hit the sides today. I still feel half asleep. And then I always do 2,000 steps on my indoor treadmill, which, well, I usually do 3,000, but I did 2,000 today because I knew I'd be coming for this half an hour walk now. Had my meal 1, which is the smallest meal of the day, which is frozen raspberries and whey. So I've come for this walk now, which will be about half an hour. And then I will have meal 2 pretty much straight away. And then I'll go and train. So I'll catch you guys for meal 2. Right guys, we are back from the walk. We are about to make meal 2. My face is all frozen. You know, like when you go for a walk, you don't speak to anyone. And you don't know until you try and talk to someone, in this case the camera, and you can't speak properly. A mum, they need more than normal, and that's saying something. But yeah, it's a cold walk, but I mean, it's warmed up a bit now, it's 2 degrees, so I can't complain. No, but for Wales, which is where I live, in North Wales, I can't really complain. Yes, it's cold, but it's not windy and rainy, and it's always raining in Wales, so I can't complain. So for meal 2, it's my pre-workout meal. So it'll be 80 grams of oats. This was the one that I was having half and half cream of rice, but I'm quite hungry today, so I'll stick to just the oats. Again, with 6 times that of water, so 480. Yeah, so I'm feeling quite fatigued at the moment. So today's video, I'll go into deloads and what they are and why I'll probably incorporate one next week. Because yeah, I'm really starting to feel the effects of dieting, which is expected. It's more so just my mood. Like right now, I'm not there. I'm just a bit vacant, which is fine, but not when you live a normal human life and you have to interact with people. So yeah, I'm looking forward to meal 2. Again, hunger's still not super high. It's more so just the actual fatigue of dieting, which is good. It's good that I'm not hungry. I mean, it's not good that I'm fatigued. And I'm starting to see the change now day to day. Well, week to week. So in the thumbnails, you'll see some check-in shots. I'll just take my layers off. I feel like I passed the parcel. So I thought I'd catch up now as opposed to when I'm eating the meal, so I can actually charge my phone and eat the meal without having to set up the camera. So with this meal, I will have 40 grams of whey in the form of chocolate orange, which is the best way to have with oats. Although I have heard that the red velvet one's nice with oats. But because I have mine with apple and dark chocolate, I couldn't imagine the red velvet would be very nice. So we're not using that. So just check now, it's 45 grams, not 40 grams. No peanut butter on this one because my last meal had a bit, well, my meal with Faye will have a bit more fat in it. I also have an apple. I'm losing the plot. I could have an apple. I went to Marks and Spencer's, not because I'm posh, but because I went there for a week. And I thought I'd get some blueberries. I don't know if you can see these. Look at the size of them. They probably look normal on camera, but they're big. Trust me on that. And they're really nice. So if you want to take out a second mortgage and get some nice fruit, Marks and Spencer's it is. It's actually cheaper. Well, it's probably as cheap as Asda now, so I can't flag it off too much. The strawberries are nicer too. So, what I do is I microwave it for about 3 minutes, same as normal, give it a stir, put it back in for about 2 more minutes, see how it looks. and then when it's cooling down, I'll chop up the apple, weigh out the dark chocolate, and then I add the whey, just so the whey doesn't start cooking and getting that weird cakey texture, which isn't very nice, even though it's cakey. I'll have probably another 2 litres of water before we train. I usually wait about an hour and a half after this meal because oats are quite heavy for me, so I don't want to go to the gym feeling half asleep because oats do make me tired. While it's cooking, actually, there's a little tip for you all that are always busy with time or short on time. Get things ready while food's cooking. So obviously you saw a work day the other day, and I prepare my chicken, I prepare my protein shakes before I go to work. I prepare as much as I can before I actually start my day, so I don't have to cook in between for each meal, because I've got time. Obviously on a rest day like today, I quite enjoy cooking, even though this isn't really cooking, but you know what I mean. I quite enjoy the freshness of food. So I like to make it on the spot. Oats, I never really prepare. I know some people do overnight oats, and that is absolutely fine, you do what you want. I've got a few new meals actually, so I'll show you them. But anyway, what I do when that's cooking is get things ready. So in this case, it's getting my pre-workout ready. I made the intro yesterday, because I like it in the fridge overnight. But today's push and arms, even though I said I'm having higher stim, it's still not going to be that high, because I don't know, for me it's just not worth the trade-off. Because if I have too much stim post-workout, I just feel like absolute shit, and I feel like shit anyway. So I'd rather just have enough caffeine to feel okay. So what I'll be having today is 2 scoops of Naughty Boy Sick Bump. It's all clumpy, so it's on offer for half price, but it's because it's all clumped, because they haven't got that ingredient in there which stops it clumping. So I have to use a teaspoon and really dig it out. I'll have 2 scoops of this because I like having the full dose on a chest day, because who doesn't like a chest bump? On pull day or leg day, I'll have 1, maybe 1.5, just because as much as I love a chest pump, I hate a quad pump. I don't want quads, like the pump, to be the limiting factor on a set. So I'll have 22 grams of that, which is 2 scoops. There's no way the scoop's going to get this out of the tub now. So this one is the blue, this is the Moody Blue. Fancy name, isn't it? I won't put any stimulant with this, because I might be going out for a coffee with my family. Well, I say family, with my parents. However, they haven't replied to my text, so maybe I won't. So screw them, guys. But if I do have a coffee, I don't want to end up having too much stim. So if I don't have a coffee, I'll just have a Monster on the side, which is 150 caffeine. And a bit of salt in this, just for them juicy salt pumps. And that's that, so that's pre. I'll probably add a bit more water to that in a second. Intra is 20 grams of citric dextrins there, and 10 grams of EAAs, and then a gram of salt and a gram of low salt, just for hydration, and about 1 litre of water. And I'll try and finish that with about 2 or 3 exercises to go at the end. I would like to take that intra out, because that is still, well, 120 calories that I could be having elsewhere, but I do find the benefit in having it. Like, I notice the performance drop off doesn't happen as quick. Cardio is still 35 minutes every day, so I do it post workout because I don't want to go to the gym twice and shower twice. On the rest days I do it whenever. So that I'm feeling that my body responds quite massively to cardio in terms of fatigue. I build up a lot of fatigue when I'm doing cardio. I don't know why. I'll speak about that when I talk about Deload over. I'll probably do it over training, like the voice over like last time. And that's that. And then what I'll do is, like I said, I'll wait an hour and a half. And then on the way to the gym, I'll either have the pre-workout then. No, we'll have the pre-workout then. Anyway, that's enough of me talking absolute shit to you. I will catch you maybe in the car on the way to the gym. Maybe not, but I'll see you when I see you. So, plans have changed. Ignore that sun. It looks sunny, but it's still 2.5 degrees. I texted my parents about 8:30 when I was on my walk, seeing if they wanted to go for a coffee, and they didn't reply. So about 10 o'clock actually, my mum rang me and said that Dad's working, fair enough, and that she is still in bed. But I'll go and see her now in person, because I've got a parcel for her, because she doesn't order online, but she wants me to do it for her. It sounds like I'm really digging at her mum here, doesn't it? I'm not. I'm just being an arsehole. But that meal's amazing. As you can tell, I've got a bit more spring in my step. So I'll go to her house now, and then I'll have a Monster, I think. I've got a choice of 3. It's Monster Ultras. It's the white one, the peach one, or the green one. Ultra Paradise. So I think I'll have the peach one, but we shall see. And then I'll have that pre-workout that you saw me make before. And then we shall train. I'll see you then. So guys, welcome to another voiceover. I will play footage of my training clips in the background, just so you've got something to look at other than my face. So the topic of today's video is deloads. Deloads are basically times of recovery from training. So that can either be time completely off the gym, It can be time where you're going into the gym but doing less volume, so less total work, or you're just doing less intensity, so maybe you go to failure, and for a bit you're not. So why would you need them? Normally when you're training, if you train quite hard, so for me, for example, I train to failure. If you're someone that's exactly the same, even if your volume is perfect for yourself and it allows recovery and it allows you to progress, at some point you will most likely build up enough fatigue to warrant a deload. Again, it depends on how your training is set up. If you're someone that's got a slightly high volume approach, or you've got just bigger recovery demands, you might find that you need a deload as soon as 6 weeks after training. Some people can go as long as 3 months or more without showing any symptoms of fatigue, in which case they can probably warrant increasing volume, or some people just have better recovery capabilities. So there are many signs to whether you need a deload. One being training performance. If your training performance is decreasing or it's not progressed for a couple of weeks in a row, then it might be a sign that fatigue is building up. If it's just one session, ignore it. We all have bad sessions. But if for a couple of weeks you notice that most sessions are pretty poor, or not progressing in a push-up phase, and it's a good sign that fatigue might be creeping up. For myself, my training tends to progress still, even when I'm fatigued. What I do notice is my sleep tends to go off. So falling asleep becomes a bit of an issue. Staying asleep becomes an issue. I wake up more times in the night than I need to. I notice my mood generally decreases. My appetite either increases or decreases. I also notice my general motivation to train decreases, and usually I love training, so that's a big one for me. But there's many signs that it could be. If you're experiencing any of them and you've been training for a few weeks, then it's a good sign that you might need a deload. One thing to consider is that everything else should be on point. So if you're showing these symptoms but you're only sleeping 4 hours a night, or you're under eating your calories, or you're doing more training than you need to, or you're having caffeine at 9 p.m, then address them first. If all your variables are in check and you're in a position where you're optimal for recovery, and then you're still experiencing these symptoms, and it's not because you're doing too much volume, then a deload may be necessary. Now, going into a bit more detail about how to go about it, again, it depends on the individual. I prefer to have time completely off the gym. Not for a week. I prefer to have time off the gym for 4 or 5 days. So it depends on the session. So at the moment, I'm currently doing a lower upper rest, legs push pull rest split. So what I tend to do is take the lower and the upper session off, and they've already got rest days either side, so that's 4 days off, and that'll be completely off training, off cardio if I need to. And then I tend to reduce steps if I'm in a diet, just because I might be doing loads, so it tends to be about 10,000 steps a day. I'll have rest day food for most of that time. I will then go back to training on the lower session. I might, and usually what I do is I do a devolume then for the first 3 sessions back. So if I go full balls to the wall sessions after 4 days off, my DOMs will just ruin me for the rest of the week, which isn't good, because then it'll affect your next sessions. So what I tend to find is if I do a devolume session, so I still train to absolute failure, I just reduce 1 set off each exercise, and take away all intensifiers like drop sets. If something's only 1 set anyway, I'll keep it. What I find is I'll still make good progressions. I'll still have some pretty strong DOMs for a few days, but it won't carry over into the next session or the next time I'm training that muscle group. I do find myself that after a deload, my performance is usually down a bit. I think that's more neurological adaptation. Just haven't done the movement for a week or so, so it takes a while for me to get back into it. And also the loads do feel really, really heavy after you've had a week off, because your nervous system's just not ready for it. So bear that in mind. Be gentle on yourself. It's a good time post deloads as well to reset numbers. So if you've been struggling, let's say on a 200 kilo deadlift for a set of 6 for a few weeks, maybe go back to 180 for a set of 7 or 8, and then run it up again and see. What you might find is, and what you most likely will find, is that you'll surpass 200 within a few weeks in time for the next deload. So that is that. Again, not everyone needs them. Make sure you train hard, make sure your variables in check, and if then you're still fatigued, then yes, you might need to deload. The deload I'll be doing now, coming this week, will be 4 days off training, off cardio, 10,000 steps, rest day food, and I'll play each day as it comes, because what I might find is my weight actually starts to fall down with water retention. Because what you might find is post deload is your weight comes down a few pounds because the water retention from just stress of the gym falls off. I don't want my weight to come down too much, obviously being in a prep too soon. So if that's the case, I might add some food to some of the days, but we'll play it by ear. But thank you for watching. Thank you for listening to me drab on. Enjoy the rest of the video. Right guys, we are back for meal 2. No, it's not, it's meal 3, I'm lying to you. We've got a bagel. It's not as nice as the one we had in the refeed. Well, it's probably nicer, just less carbs. So we've got a bagel with bacon, a broken up hash brown, and an egg. Oh, I've forgotten the ketchup. So, that's the ketchup. So we're going to wolf this down now because we have to rush off because we are going on the sunbeds. So as many of you know, bodybuilding is basically about getting on stage with lots of other men wearing next to no clothes, as lean as possible whilst retaining as much muscle as possible. But one of the things we have to do is cover ourselves in fake tan. And I've heard from someone that fake tan sticks better to you when you've already got a bit of a tan. Obviously, being ginger, I'm as white as they come. So from today, this is the first time we're going to start using the sunbeds twice a week. We'll start slow and then we'll just try and build up a bit of a base tan. Faye is coming with me, not because she's competing, but because she's just there for me through and through. So whatever I do, she'll put herself through too. There's nothing to do with the fact that she wants a tan. So we're off to the sunbeds now to get some nice skin cancer, and then we will catch you, or I'll catch you for meal number 4. So that actually wasn't too bad. It was actually really nice. What I remember from last year is that when I went on there last year, I worked up to like, I think it was 10 or 12 minutes at a time, and it was peak summer. So you'd go in there hot and you'd get like unbearably hot. It was horrible. Whereas now, because it's so cold, and it's only 4 minutes, I didn't want to come off. It was lovely. Right guys, we are back and I've just prepared meal number 4, which I'll show you now. So me and Faye will have this meal together, so it's not a normal meal for me. So what I've got is 2 burgers, 1 sad burger without the bun, unfortunately, 250 grams of potatoes, and then some mixed veg. And it's quite good because the whole thing, I'll put the macros on the screen, but the whole thing's about 49 protein, 82 grams of carbs, and about 10 grams of fat. What are we watching? Game of Thrones. So we'll watch this now. No, we won't. We'll eat this now while watching the last episode of Game of Thrones on season 6 again. And then I'll catch you all for the final meal. Right guys, we're at meal 5. We're having an argument because I brought one of them to Liverpool and I've left it there. I've left it there. I don't think I've left it there.
You have left it there.
Okay. Anyway, I'm not fired. Well, the last meal was lovely. I don't think it was as nice as my oats though.
Why are you asking me?
I don't think it's as nice as my oats. But this meal's also very nice. You've seen this one before. It's basically yogurt with fruit and honey. It's always a good episode of Game of Thrones that as well, isn't it? For those of you that have seen it. Season 6, episode 10. So it's the final third of the season. Cersei becomes a mad woman. Yes, I'm in a dressing gown. And no, I've not showered yet because I'm all about the crazy life. You know what? I'm really bad for having you guys just literally staring at my face without the top of my head. I've got 120 grams of these Marks & Spencer strawberries, and they are hands down better than Asda. And I have 100 grams of them ginormous blueberries that don't really look too ginormous on camera, but they are big. The big blueberries, aren't they, Faye?
They are massive blueberries.
For those of you that have seen me make this meal before know that the secret is zeroing the scales, then putting the honey on. Got 20 grams today, and try and get it all off. And the best thing, there's always some left on the spoon. That's what you do, is you want that honey, I don't know if you can see that really. You want the honey to stay on the fruit, so give it a mix, but not too much. So that's that. That's my last meal. So as always, well, as usual, the calories will be on the screen and the macros as well, and then the totals will be on the screen as well. This meal is 450 grams of yogurt, 20 grams of honey, 100 grams of blueberries, and 120 grams of strawberries. That's it, that's the final meal of the day. Getting my last minute steps in now. I didn't do as many this morning as I usually do. I usually try and get them all in early in the day. I've got 30,000 a day at the moment. The next 2,000 post meal 4, the burgers, and the next 2,000 now, post yogurt meal. Got the music in the background phase. Enjoying the shower. That concludes the video. It's not the most exciting video, but again, my life isn't very exciting at the moment, especially with prep. I'm just enjoying the day, enjoying the process, enjoying the food. But that's it, so I'm gonna go for a shower now. Please like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.